Hey everyone, welcome back to Brick System Brothers. Yeah, this should look pretty familiar. I talked about this set not too long ago on the channel, and I like it so much I'm deciding to build another one almost immediately. Another copy of my own train hopper 10017, but it is not an exact copy, and that is what I want to mainly talk about in this video. The process of rebuilding the hopper with a few updates and a few swaps to make it a little more builder friendly, a few less pieces actually, and see if I can actually build a second one right out of the box, or in this case right out of the slopes bin, because the main thing that's going to hold me back is rounding up enough of the 2x2 slopes to do another full run across the top on both sides of the car. And I think I actually am going to be able to do it. So recently, having sorted slopes on the channel and for my collection, I wasn't really sure how many of these 2x2 tan slopes I had. I actually picked up a couple when I was doing my road trip, and I think that was in the Louisville purchase, one of those stores. Specifically looking for this piece because that's kind of when I got it in my head to try to part this thing together. So yeah, it might actually be a success here. Like I talked about in this other video, the closing door mechanism with the Technic part, I'm completely out of those in that color now. So I have kind of two options I'm going to pursue. I'm either going to build the doors in a different color, probably a light gray or a light bluish gray is what I have that piece in, a couple more of those. Option two is actually to construct a different mechanism that does the same thing, that looks similar but uses different pieces, and that would be easier to obtain the parts for. And that's probably what I'm going to do, is option two. I'm going to look at it when I get there. And I'm also going to do the blue color. I know I talked about swapping in maybe a red at one point, but I think I'm just going to stick with the blue to have two copies that kind of match here. So that's kind of where I'm at, gathering up parts. Some of the specific substitutions I've already made for the slope down that's directly attached to the train base. It uses two of the 2x3 slopes, and in this case I can just merge those into a 4x3. Similarly on top, it uses a single one of these 2x2. It just has two of them put together, so I can combine that into a 2x4 ridge, and then behind the ladder and the broom on either end, actually it stacks 1x2 bricks 2 high, and we can use the 1x2x2 kind of a post brick there. So already eliminating several pieces within the first 4 or 5 steps of the build, and that's kind of what I'm going to be looking to do throughout the rest of the project. When it comes to the top, there's not a whole lot you can do. I did find 2x4 tan slope, but I think I'm going to try to maintain that consistency with the 2x2s, and I think I've got enough to do that. So that's what's next. Also swapping out for the modern magnetic coupler. The old one, just a matter of maintaining completion, or the original set when I built this. On this one I'm going for more of the complete, not necessarily complete part match, but still overall aesthetic match. I think that kind of swap is what I'm going to be looking to do as I build a second copy of this set. So I'm putting the final touches on my second copy. I just need to grab a broom and a shovel to put in the clips. And I happen to have another old dark gray shovel. I do not think I have another old brown broom, so we'll have to go with the reddish brown, which is fine because this copy has not really been meant to be the exact set like I was doing for this one, with all the correct colors and all that stuff. So I don't mind having a few things swapped here and there. Some of the old dark gray plates in the bogies are different as well. It's just a matter of what I have easily accessible in the collection. And just bringing this in for a closer look at both of them side by side. Again, those only differences, pretty much everything that I mentioned before I had a whole lot of this built up is mostly down on the bottom levels of the car. So the more modern coupler is used here. Just have more of those on hand. In fact, I'm almost out of the old coupler right now because there's so many in the My Own Train series that I've been building up. So that one is switched, and that's something you don't really notice from too far back. Something you might notice is my hatches are built a little bit differently for lack of the correct Technic pieces. So the combination I used puts this crossbar a little bit lower down on the whole thing. In fact, the handle that is used in this set to turn the crossbars is the element I used all the way across. Had plenty of extras of those. And I don't actually prefer this method to the original set. I think it's just a matter of I don't have enough of these to make another copy. Going to be something that I do order some more of at some point, or just wait until I have that restocked. And then I will swap that in if I still have both these cars built at that point. I know I'm going to keep one of the originals built for a long time. Having the second copy, it looks nice, but if I want to keep expanding train layouts with different cars, I might have to come in for some of these base pieces like the 6x24, the bogies, the magnet, that kind of thing. Also, I noticed just now that this specific combination of the My Own Train engine with tender and 2 copies of the hopper car, there are a lot of these little stair step. It's almost like a bracket piece. So, in fact, I still need one more for this other side back here, which I'm sure I have it, but I used all the ones that I had sorted out at this point, so I have quite a few pieces invested just in this little pile of bricks right here. And I'd much rather have sorted pieces invested than money. I mean, it's still money invested, but these are mostly parts that I've been stocking up on for the last 4 years with my bulk orders. I just wanted to talk about how that is starting to pay off in terms of what I'm able to build, because you just have this slow and steady approach instead of going out directly to Bricklink or directly to Bricks and Pieces. So starting to see that pay off has been really fun. Just in terms of this specific collection of sets, even to buy used, is almost 50 a piece for the hoppers, and the engine I haven't actually specifically checked, but probably close to 50 again. So $150 worth of Lego here, and by the time I go back through and look at what I paid for most of these pieces, it's only going to be about $30 or $40, which is really good. I'm really happy with that. So I wanted to mention that as well. Why I'm actually able to build this up is mostly due to my process of bulk buys, and then the sorting and inventory, just having that on hand and accessible to build, ready to build, and finally getting to do some of that, which I'm really happy about. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the second saga of the hopper car. Now having 2 copies of this, they look really sharp side by side. And of course, it's one of these sets that the more copies you have, the more impressive it is. It's not necessarily true of all sets, but it works really well with trains. And I actually still have some more 2x2 tan slopes. It would be really close to having just enough for another hopper car. But then I start getting into problems with running out of those train elements again. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for these train bases, train wheels, magnetic couplings. It's always been a piece that I know it'd be nice to have more of, but I haven't really been to a shortage point because I haven't been building much with trains. So now that I'm getting on track with that theme of sets and having these pieces tied up, I'm getting kind of low on some of these. So I might have to go out and get some more, and then I can build bunch more hoppers, bunch more coaches and stuff, which I'd like to do at some point. But yeah, the 2 hoppers is good for now. Hopefully you saw the build video for the original one and going into some detail about those parts a little bit. These two really close together in our timeline here. So thank you for watching very much. If you enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button, like and comment, drop those questions down. I am checking comments pretty often these days to get questions answered. And if it's a particularly good one, I'm going to stick it in our end of the month video called Footnotes and talk about it even more there. So if that sounds interesting to you, you can look at our previous ones and drop a stumper of a question that I'll scratch my head on. Or you can just watch the video. In either case, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time on Brick System Brothers.